I'm gonna open my video. Everybody asked me what happened to Nikki, although it's a Rusty video. Nikki's been laid up and we have issues with the motor, so we're straightening Nikki out before she comes, and then we got a couple other projects. God knows, as long as I get her running this year and get her headers on her and the full exhaust, Rusty's coming along. Rusty's evolving. We worked under these wheel wells, and I know this camera's not the best work for this, but we just got done welding, and some of that shiny stuff, it's not holes, it's just shiny paint. The sun's kind of refracting off of it. But we actually created the inner panels out of street signs because they're aluminum and they don't rot. This was just a template that I used right here. And as I said, I should work for CNN, the lousiest network in the world, as a cameraman. And in between that, there's a half a dozen other projects. When you guys pay for a restoration or you contemplate doing a restoration, it's like this back splash valance between the bumper. This goes between the tailgate and the rear bumper. I got work to do on that. We just had it blasted because you really can't sand this. They just need to be blasted. It's a real heavy original piece, so I'm going to repair it with fiberglass. You don't really see it. Okay, this is not a it's not a $50,000 restoration where we're just going to do over the whole truck. You might as well buy one from somebody if you're going to do that. Okay, this restoration, he's getting out there. Brian's a little stressed. We had to get other clear coat. We did buy authentic, made by Nason, black cherry is the color that Rusty's going to be. That's why he has black primer on him. But the moral of the story was, it was kind of a con because it said it came with free clear coat. Well, I think it came with urine in the can. So this is the last time you're going to see Rusty. The doors for Rusty are up getting done because there were broken interior pieces, and there was some welds that I was capable of doing and some not. The doors were in pretty sad shape. Because of Rusty being broken in half, everybody was taking their fist and bang, bang, trying to, the doors didn't close anymore. And then we're not going to bolt the fenders down because of that. I don't know what position the doors are going to land in. And then I told you the truck is a ½ inch out of square and a twist. In the beginning of the videos when I first did Rusty, I did what a body man does, is we measure up the truck. And there you can see some of the work on the tailgate, in case you missed that video, the last one. Ken, Debbie, there's a half a dozen of you, because I know you guys were asking about Nikki, but this truck too. He's here, and we might get an Edelbrock combination with the valve covers and stuff. I'm sorry I make my videos out here, but any shop that's along any highway or major commerce route, we get noise like that. And then this camera actually picks up, we have a repeater tower, so when you hear that reverberation, for some reason the electronics on this camera pick up that tower way out there in the, I'm trying to do the autofocus, but there's a tower way out there. And that's a cell tower. And even though it doesn't work for our cell phones, because we don't know why, and Verizon always screws me, it interferes with the camera. So that's it for the welding. I just got done with this side over here, and we got body seam sealer because we're going to paint the tub. The tub's getting painted first before the doors get here. I don't think the doors will be ready before Tuesday or Wednesday of next week. And that's what I was telling Brian is, I said, hey, this is getting, out there even to me. I know that, you spent a lot of money. The point is you spent a lot of money, but you got something, and it's still not the rusty old piece of shit you had. And I hate to use the profanity like that, but this truck is evolved. He's fixed the suspension. We have a new steering stabilizer, the new dog bones on it. And now we're just going to go crazy with it's my own product, my own rust inhibitor converter and stuff. It really does a nice job. And even if rust shows through or something before you get a top coat on it, you just keep piling it on, and it works. There, Rusty, it almost took a month for that to come through. Now, Rusty's never going to get running the salt anymore. He's going in the garage. We're actually, he just gave me the job to build the side garage onto his place, and we're just going to continue on. He wants to do some home improvement this fall into the winter, and so I'll be working for Brian. Looks like I don't know, maybe he should be my boss. New universal joints. We have new brakes and calipers for the front. As I said, Rusty's going to be a 2019 by the time he's done with all the new parts in him. Christ, we just about saved the shell. Nothing else is original. We're even replacing the seats. So he's just about got the tires and wheels he came with and the axles, and that's basically about it. Everything else is going to get changed. I think the trans is salvageable from what I'm assuming is the trans. He says it ran, and it ran well, but it leaked. And I can't say anything this old won't leak. And the transmission, it was done. It was redone. There's a tag on it. But unfortunately, the date is 1999. So it was redone 5 years before Brian even bought the truck. But it's a positive sign, because in between him telling me he bought the truck with almost 200,000 miles on it, it only has 200,034. So we're on to something here. Maybe, like I said, we'll get new seals in the trans. I mean, we had to put new seals and the new wheel seals in, the axle seals and all that. And like I said, wheel cylinder, I mean, everything's brand new. And a lot of the lines are going to be brand new, feeding the fuel and the brake line. We have a new master cylinder, new power booster installed, new water pump. Like I said, Rusty's about a 2019. And Brian feels the pain. He should have just bought a new truck. But no, this nostalgia stuff, it's worth its weight in gold. And like I said, I listen to the 70s music while I'm working on it, remembering my dad, the one my dad and I had. They were an incredible vehicle. And like I said, they're not going to bring these vehicles back. Not this one. The new Chevy Blazer, I'd go out to Walmart and get toilet paper before I went out and looked at one. I didn't like what I saw. GM's getting as bad as Ford. They come up with a brand new concept nobody wants to buy. I don't want to buy it. It's a toad. It's ugly. This is a Blazer. Whatever they came out with, that belongs in a junkyard. So thanks for watching my videos. And Ken, Debbie, like I said, Debbie just called and she had some questions about putting one of these together. And the main thing was the rear ends, the availability. Again, with anything like that you buy, the availability depends on where you live. Really, I can't tell you. I know I can get these 12-bolt posies for about $300 for a junk rear end. Excuse me, allergy season. So you will pay about $300 for that rear end, and it's junk. You have to rebuild it. And most of them, it's just seals. The gears in these things, if it wasn't off of something they were racing and pounding the poo out of, it's worth salvaging the rear. And the front rears on these, as much as they're going to the junkyard, you people, those freaking front rears are worth about $500. And those stainless steel mirrors, they're selling used ones for $250. So wise up before you junk something like this. Put it on Craigslist. I mean, even if you get $400 or $500 for it, the guy got his money all back, especially if you need a front or a back rear end for that. Alright, so it's the last time you're going to see Rusty without doors on him or whatever, and there'll probably be some paint on him by the next time you see him, and whatever the next problem is that comes up, because I don't have one, and I'm afraid Brian's going to get a noose and a rope and maybe that tree back there. But I don't think I have to be afraid of Brian. He knows I put my heart into this thing. There's a lot of hours. I mean, I'm working weeks and overtime and stuff on this truck, so he can't complain. It's not like he's getting ripped off or anything. It's just this, everything we tore in this truck was just discombobulated. So the next time you think you want to pick up one of those used trucks or whatever, even Tara was like that. It was like every other thing I tore into with Tara, Christina, and now Nikki's like that. Nikki, we're redoing the goddamn engine. Gee, it's not just Brian. Everybody gets a flaming arrow through their wallet when they buy something like this. And unfortunately, our next video is going to be, it's going to start out. It's going to be our launch for our shop, because we are going to get the, Rusty, I don't know if we're going to call it Rusty Blazer, but we're going to call it Rusty something, or just maybe the Rush Shop. But you can bring trucks like this or other stuff like this that really needs a good thorough goings over, and you'll be able to bring it to us, and you'll be able to call me and communicate with me on YouTube if you have the desire to do something like this, because it takes a big set of cojones to bite into something like this like I did. And unfortunately, I do it for fun. I have fun while I do this. I really enjoy it. I wish I had a better shop. I wish I had a lift like some of the other guys out in the West Coast do. But unfortunately, we have winter, and a lot of bills and stuff here, and our taxes we're paying for people that shouldn't even be here, which we'll cover some of that in our next couple of videos. And we're going to bring our criminal justice series back on a friend of mine, an incident that's going on with him. Unless they dismiss the charges, I'm going right down the throat to the courts here in the Northeast PA. They are the most corrupt sons of bitches you will ever meet, and the next one that screws with me is going to get hammered. I don't think he understands I have cancer, so I don't give a shit if I live today, tomorrow, the next day. The next one that fucks with me, he's done. This state's got to get straightened out. I hope the Attorney General gets busy with it. I'm going to write actually a letter down to Washington, D.C. I've been to Quantico at the State Department. I dropped off a letter just about another judge where I was just in the courtroom helping a friend out, and the guy was doing illegal business, taking kickbacks and stuff from the lawyer. These guys got to go up here. They really stink, every one of them. But there's a piece of beauty. It's a piece of history. Thanks.